Is this all they do? When we play Nashville, can we ever beat them? I don't get it. We're playing Nashville. It should be playoff hockey. And the Hawks lose it again to the Nashville Predators 5-2. It was a complete collapse of the Hawks tonight. They just looked off. Each period started, Nashville gains control. They win the faceoff. The Hawks can't do anything. The Hawks need to learn how to win at the dot if they want to stay in the race. Because now the Hawks are in 6th place in the Central Division as Dallas won today, beating the Detroit Red Wings, and they move a point ahead of the Chicago Blackhawks tonight. In the standings, with the Hawks losing to Nashville, Nashville goes back up 4 points on them in the playoff race. This is it. The Hawks have 2 more games against Nashville this week, and it's in Chicago. Get your game going and beat the Nashville Predators and score more than 2 goals against Nashville. Let's look at the stats of the game, what I'm telling you, and how this game basically was a collapse for your Hawks. In the first period, shots on net was 8-9. Second period, 14-11 in favor for the Hawks. In the first period, it was in favor for Nashville. In the third period, it was 10-10. But the Hawks couldn't get their game going early in any of the periods tonight. Total shots on net, 32-30 in favor for the Hawks. But the key thing is, you want to get up and going as soon as the puck drops the ice at the beginning of each period. If you don't, you're going to lose. And that's what happened here. So let's look at the stats of the game. Face-off. Honestly, somehow the Hawks managed to keep it a little bit close. But honestly, Nashville probably had more face-off wins. It was 52% for Nashville to the Hawks 48% at the dot. It's close, but it's not close enough. The Hawks lost at the dot. They lost at the defensive game. They collapsed. It was horrible. Power play. Hawks went 1 for 5. Nashville went 0 for 5. Hits 22-19 in favor for the Hawks, meaning the Hawks didn't have puck control. Block shots 10-16 in favor for Nashville. The thing is, the Hawks just collapsed. They fell apart. They blew it. They blew an opportunity. Duncan Keith probably had himself a horrible game. Kevin Lankinen had himself his worst game in the National Hockey League. Calvin DeHaan was just flat tonight. He was flat-footed and caught. The Hawks were slow. They didn't get their game going, and Nashville played the trap. The Hawks need to break it this week if they want a chance to stay in the hunt. But right now, how it's looking, they're wanting to not make the playoffs. Let's look at the goals of the game. Why not? Because there's quite a bit. There's a total of 7, but only 2 of them came from the Hawks. In the first period, 6 minutes and 22 seconds into the first period, Matt Duchene scores his 4th of the season, assisted by Eric Holla and Benning to make it 1-0 Nashville. This was a double deflection, and you can't really fault Lankinen on that. It's a double deflection. It's near impossible to save those. So, Nashville goes up early, 1-0, 6 minutes into the game. Hawks were just flat-footed for the first about 10 minutes of the game because we only had 2 shots on net for the first 10 minutes of the game, and Nashville outshot the Hawks 8-2 in the first 10 minutes. Then the Hawks started to find their game. They take it up and get a power play at 15-14 in the first period, scored by number 12, Alex DeBrincat, his 23rd of the season, assisted by Pius Suter and Patrick Kane to make it a 1-1 game. The Caps on the board, and the Hawks tie it up. This goal was a beautiful goal by DeBrincat. He gets the puck from Suter. Suter feeds it over to the Cat, and Cat banks it off the back of the head of UC Soros, and we're tied. Momentum swung in favor for the Hawks a little bit. They were moving the puck well, getting opportunities, and almost scoring another goal. But we go into the second period, and the collapse starts. A minute into the period, Kevin Lankinen has to make a big save, and then momentum still stays on the side of Nashville because 4 minutes and 48 seconds into the second period, Järnkrok scores his 12th of the season, assisted by Garland and Kunin, to make it a 2-1 Nashville lead. The Hawks are not done blowing it because we are in the offensive zone. Duncan Keith turns the puck over horribly right to Ekholm, and Ekholm goes on the races and beats everyone and gets his 6th of the season, assisted by Ryan Johansson. So Keith has the puck on the boards in the offensive zone. He tries to backhand pass it to his other line mate, and nothing happens because it goes on the stick of Johansson, and Johansson sends Ekholm. Ekholm gets the puck and beats Lankinen, and the Hawks are now down by 2. So this is horrible at this point. We're getting our butts kicked. We're playing flat on the blue line and not getting anything going. And now we are down by 2 early in the second. And then about 5 minutes later at 11:52 in the second period, for his first of the season, scored by number 64, David Kampf, assisted by new Blackhawk number 11, Adam Gaudette, to make it a 3-2 game. This goal led to momentum. It looked like the Hawks could have gained control and had another goal, but no, nothing comes after that in the second period. There was an opportunity, and the Hawks couldn't get it. The momentum did not stay. The Hawks' momentum game against Nashville has not stayed this entire season. Right now, it looks like, with how it's gone, we've lost 6 games this season out of 6 games this season to them. There's 2 more left. Don't get swept. So we go to the third period down by a goal. Okay, Hawks could have momentum, but no. Because I'm 23 seconds into the freaking third period, scores his second of the season, assisted by Ellis, to make it 4-2. And this is what happened. Murphy loses his helmet in the defensive zone, so he has to skate off the ice. And, well, Hawks now are down by a man on the ice, and Nashville takes advantage. They go up by 2 now. But 18 seconds later, at 41 seconds into the third period, another goal was scored by Nashville. Kunin scores his 5th of the season, assisted by Garland and Järnkrok, to make it a 5-2 Nashville lead. It was brutal. They lost the face-off. They lost their game. That's where they lost it. Beginning of the period, blowing games. They were horrible. The defense on this 5th goal by Nashville collapsed. It was horrible. Duncan Keith lost an edge in the defensive zone. And Calvin DeHaan, who honestly right now should not be on the ice, he's out there and he loses his stick and gets beat by the Nashville's goal scorer. And the Hawks now go down by 3. Game's not completely over, but yes, it's over because they won it 5-3. And that's what pulled at that goal, the 5th goal by Nashville. Colleton said, okay, Lakeinen, you're out of here. We're putting in Subban. Subban comes in, couple opportunities by Nashville. Subban makes a save. But then the game starts getting chippy because the Hawks and Nashville hate each other, and this is a playoff game. It led to broken plays and just pure collapse of your Hawks tonight. It was a disgrace. They looked horrible. They looked off. And that's what lost them the game. Early in the periods, looking horrible. That's it. And then the penalties kept flying because Duncan Keith gets a 4-minute... No, it wasn't Keith getting a 4-minute minor. Suter gets a 4-minute minor. And then we killed that off. Then Duncan Keith hits Duchesne late in the period. And to the boards, no penalty on Keith. But Nick Cousins comes in and tries to rip off Keith's head. But Cousins doesn't get the penalty. Alex DeBrincat gets it because Cat comes in to protect Keith. Okay? And then Cat goes to the box. Hawks kill that penalty. And then get a power. The Hawks kill it. Minute left. Like 10 seconds left. The Hawks get a power play. Nothing happens because it's 10 seconds left. Because Nick Cousins decides to go after one of the Hawks players. I didn't catch it because they couldn't get it on TV. And Cousins gets tossed, gets a minor, and gets it out of the game. So we lose this thing. It's starting to get chippy. We're going into Chicago. Now we need to win these games and grind them out, beat up on Nashville, play their style, and get your act together if you want to make the playoffs. So down in the comments down below, I want to hear what your thoughts were on tonight's action because it was a collapse. And it was a collapse in the start of periods. That's what it was. It wasn't a collapse in late parts of the period because the Hawks gained momentum. It was just a collapse in the beginning of periods. And that's what cost them the games. So, I want to hear what your thoughts were on tonight's action. And hopefully, when we go back to Chicago, we find our game and beat these guys. So, down in the comments down below, I want to hear what your thoughts were. And thank you for watching the broadcast. I know you did not enjoy the outcome. Nor did I. And now we're in 6th place. And it's just rough. So, thank you again. And please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And most of all, gotta get the game going, Hawks. We're still in it. And let's go, Hawks.